it's time to move on, and we're going to talk about the character assassination of Bill Murray. The funny part about this is that I, for one, personally, I think that Bill Murray is kind of a... Not a fed. I find much of his personality and all the things that people love about his personality to be extremely manufactured. Like, look at him. He's so quirky. He just got behind the bar and started bartending. Oh, my God, look at he just gave this guy at the World Series a World Series ticket. Oh, yeah, when there's a camera there to take a picture of it so that you can write some lame slice of life article about... He always came across to me as a guy who was probably extremely domineering, controlling, and had a horrible attitude behind the scenes. It's all
but, like, completely confirmed that he at least has anger issues and, like, doesn't respect people's personal boundaries, like, physically. He will get in people's faces and, like, touch them and yell at them.
So it says, before Harvey Weinstein's downfall and the emergence of the Me Too movement, the movie industry was a vastly different arena. In current year, we're seeing Me Too villains like Weinstein, Kevin Spacey, and Paul Haggis on trial this week for alleged sexual offenses. And now, much like cancel culture, the Me Too discussion of inappropriate behavior in the film industry remains open, even for matters that don't reach quite Weinstein-level like realms of misdeeds, right? So there was an article today written about how Anna Faris was complaining about the bad behavior of Ivan Reitman on the set of stuff he made. And then, of course, all the columns, like, he was always bad.
She claimed he, like, slapped her ass in front of the crew members.
Yep.
But, like, where's the push to cancel people who were complicit in Weinstein's misdeeds? Because literally everyone knew about it.
Have you ever seen that picture of, like, Oprah Winfrey, like, basically presenting a tiny woman to Harvey Weinstein? Yes. It's super creepy.
There were what were called Weinstein girls.
Yeah.
Okay. Like, everyone knew what was going on, including the women who were participating in his corrupt behavior. Yep. The women who knowingly, like, if you're going to his hotel room, you know what's up.
It's like
not saying it's your fault if something bad happens completely. But if you already know his reputation and what this transactional relationship is about.
It's like the girl who, like, went up to the hotel room with Aziz Ansari. She's like, I had no idea why you wanted me to go up to his room with him.
I mean, that was even a whole different situation and relevant to Bill Murray because Aziz Ansari needed to, like, rebuild his reputation.
Yeah.
After, like, this girl did a write-up on him because they, like, didn't have sex.
Wrong type of wine, I remember, was one of the complaints.
And then, like, he bought her an Uber. Like, he got her a cab afterwards. Like, he got her an Uber. It's like he was the most polite assault
literally just like, oops, had an awkward interaction with this, like, B-list celebrity.
So Bleeding Fool runs through the recent allegations, and there's absolutely a case to be made that this all came out suspiciously at the same time.
We have talked about Bill Murray before Being Mortal got shut down, though.
Yes.
I just don't remember the details. I remember screaming in, like, allegedly screaming in someone's face.
Yeah.
On set. And, like, grabbing them by their skull, like, screaming in their face.
And that's when I saw all the slice of life stories about Bill Murray. Somebody else in the comments mentioned, well, he had tea with RZA. Like, it's like
he does, like,
it's like what's her name? Went to jail for tax or for finance fraud. Martha Stewart. It's like Martha Stewart and Snoop Dogg being friends. Nobody actually buys that they're actually friends. BS. It's a facade. And so we have the $100,000 paid to a much younger, which literally Dirt is much younger. I was saying,
like, if this production assistant had been in her 40s, she could still be described as a much younger employee.
So he pays her $100,000 because he jumped on her lap and then started making out with her while they both had masks on, because that's something normal people do. And then they also talk about what was it, Gina Davis, and the issue with the personal massager. Really creepy. But
she
that was
said
in the 90s.
her memoir that she repeatedly told him he she didn't want him to like use this massage device on her that was called the thumper. And he did it anyway and ignored her. And then he also like screamed at her in front of hundreds of cast and crew members for quick change.
And then the accusations continued when Rob Schneider said that Murray hated the entire cast of Saturday Night Live. That when he came back to guest host, he wasn't very nice to us. Schneider said. He said he hated the Saturday Night Live.
I think this
when he
is
hosted.
hilarious.
Absolutely hated us, and I mean seething. Schneider contended that Murray displayed extra ire towards certain cast members. He hated Chris Farley with a passion, like he was just seething looking at him, Schneider said, before adding that Murray, quote, really hated Sandler too.
Go off, Bill Murray.
I take offense to that because I love Adam Sandler. You leave Adam Sandler alone.
Adam Sandler is annoying as all hell. Sorry.
Adam Sandler alone.
It was just naked rage. I honestly respect it, like, because there's so many people who especially in that industry hold up a facade of like civility.
But he doesn't hold up a facade. He does put up a facade. He puts up a facade of I'm a weirdo. It's okay. I'm a weirdo.
His facade is like, it's okay that I have issues and I don't respect people because I'm quirky and out of the box, and I'm sort of like Jim Carrey. Like, Jim Carrey does that shit too. He gets the excuse that because he is, a kook, that he can do whatever he wants
I hate,
socially.
I don't like the idea. It's like the people who it's like you've got that friend who just says really rude things. You say, it's because I'm blunt. I'm like, no, you're just an asshole.
However, a lot of people who are fond of Bill Murray and his sense of humor and are familiar with it could defend what happened with this production assistant, because I don't know how she was reacting to this. And I don't know if, like, because the witness who was there, the third party witness who was there, didn't say anything about like intervening. It, like, clearly if she had been like shrieking or like recoiling from him, then someone would have stepped in.
Yeah.
I don't know the context. So he's cracking a joke at himself for being out of touch, for being socially like unaware, for being old and gross looking, for being sexless. And that makes sense in his deranged old man brain. And he's also making a joke about the COVID regulations because he's like making out with her through the mask. He's making a joke about how ridiculous and overreaching those protocols are. It makes sense why in his crazy old man brain that was funny to him.
Let's also talk about Seth Green.
This was actually sad.
Seth Green also spoke up this week about an altercation with Murray on SNL. When he was 9 and a mid-30s, Murray, again guest hosting, says Green was set to play a kid in a skit. He was sitting backstage watching TV when he says, Murray saw me sitting on the arm of this chair and made a big fuss about me being in his seat. And I was like, that is absurd. I am sitting on the arm of this couch. There are several lengths of this sofa. Kindly F off.
I doubt he actually said that at 9 years old.
He's like, and then I was like this. And then he was like, that's my chair. Green says that he refused. He picked me up by my ankles and held me upside down, dangled me over a trash can, and was like, the trash goes in the trash can. And I was screaming and I swung my arms, flailed widely, full contact with his balls. He dropped me in the trash can and the trash can falls over. I was horrified. I ran away, hid under the table of my dressing room, and just cried.
That's kind of sad. I think
it's
dangling him over the trash can is a little bit like that could be done in jest, but just dropping him in was what took it too far.
Well, what I gained from that is that he wouldn't have dropped him if he hadn't hit him in the balls. Yeah. So it's really
what do you expect
Seth Green's
the kid
fault.
to do? But also, Seth Green is allegedly a predator.
Yes.
So I don't know if I should feel bad for him.
I just remembered that Seth Green. Do you remember Seth Green was in episode 2 of the X-Files?
No.
He plays like a stoner that like breaks into a military base with his stoner girlfriend.
Get out of town.
And then Mulder and Scully like find them and take them to a diner, and they're basically there, and they're like, "Whoa, burgers!"
Is that what people thought we did to you in the 90s?
Yeah, and then like they go out afterwards, and Scully's like, "Mulder, if I was that stoned," he goes, "Oh, if you were that stoned." He was also in the very classic rollerblading movie Airborne from 1993. Those are like two of his earliest movie credits with a very, very young Jack Black.
Oh.
Hasn't he done voice acting too?
Yes, he does a lot of voice acting. So, I'm here to mention that I think that Bill Murray, whatever you want to think of him, I don't think that he gets off scot-free. I do believe this is coordinated. I don't know why. I don't really care because he always came across phony to me. That's just me.
Well, I just don't understand why he's getting picked out, because there are so many antisocial assholes in Hollywood that get away with it and no one calls them out. So I don't know, maybe someone more powerful than him.
Like part and parcel of the
coordinated it?
Exact same thing that David O. Russell has been accused of, and he's just fine.
Yeah, he's flying high. People are working with him, making excuses for him. He does similar stuff that's like falling asleep at table read for Margot Robbie.
Yeah.
Making excuses but not making any money because Amsterdam's losing like $100 million.
I guess that's karma for you.
But for Murray, like, it's also possible, like, the summation from this article is that this was like coordinated. I think it's more likely
there's no proof for that.
That the story's just kind of
it's
snowballed, and then everyone who's ever worked with them is like, I remember when Bill Murray was a dick.
Yeah.
Like, that's what happens.
I'm sure
Sometimes
that
people are like, this
been-
isn't that big of a deal, and then they find out somebody else it's happened to them. They're like, oh, maybe this is a big deal, and you know.
I'm sure Bill Murray has been mean to a lot of people who deserved it, though, or made fun of a lot of people who can't joke around, who have no sense of humor, like Keke Palmer.
She doesn't.
I bet she even though she's not the person who filed this complaint against him, I'm sure she added her own 2 cents once they started investigating it. I don't doubt that the story about him pulling her hair on set jokingly is fake.
Also, I remember the Lucy Liu allegations of him yelling at her and her yelling at him right back on set when they were making Charlie's Angels. I didn't see this part where MCG, who was the producer, I think he might have directed it as well. Yeah, the film's director, MCG, also claimed that Murray headbutted him while working on the project.
Yeah.
I buy that Bill Murray just was like that. And then people were like, oh, he's just so quirky.
It's the same thing as David O. Russell taking a production assistant and literally like choke slamming him to the ground like he's a rag doll.
Yep.
These people are just out of control.
Maybe what we do is we get David O. Russell, we get Bill Murray, and we get Ezra Miller, and we send them off on an adventure.
They need like anger management rehab.
Yes.
Or something.
Or these guys could take
sedatives.
I mean, how many sedatives does Bill Murray need? He's 72. He is a sedative.
If he's awake, he's angry.
If he's awake, he's angry. And that stuff came out today about Ivan Reitman being supposedly a bad person to work with. And that's like have they really exhausted their resources of creepy predators? I doubt it. Mm-hmm. There's probably plenty of more people you can go after. And I don't
Seth Green.
Yeah,
Kidding.
Seth Green. We don't.
Not
know.
really though.
We don't know. I don't buy the part about it being coordinated. I just think that Bill Murray, like, eventually the chickens come home to roost, and you get what's coming. Is that right?
That's funny.
Right. Yeah. And you get what's coming to you. And it's just he always came across as incredibly fake in that regard to me. That it always seemed manufactured.
People in Hollywood are just narcissists who can't get along with anyone.
Nope.
They can't stand not being the center of attention. They can't stand being the butt of anyone's jokes. They can't stand feeling like they are seen as an equal with, other people on a set.
Yeah.
They have to grandstand and push for their power dynamic that they want. Yeah.
Which is funny because
that's what all narcissists are.
Yeah.
It's funny because there's so much power in not being that way. Think about the respect Keanu Reeves commands by treating everyone just with general basic respect.
I feel like that's a facade too. Sorry. Everyone's gonna hate me for saying it, but I feel like it's the same vibe as Bill Murray.
Maybe.
Projecting some image that you're this, like, I don't know, like some kind of hero in Hollywood, and I don't buy it, and I don't care even if it's true.
With little to no evidence, I disagree.
Why does it matter whether an actor is a good person anyways?
For some reason, I like the stories about Keanu Reeves. I have no reason for justifying why I think his are real.
It's
and
just
Murray's are fake.
wholesome 100 doggo like level.
I love it.
Like internet memes.
The Murray stuff was never wholesome. It was quirky. It was he's like
it's like
acting
relatability.
Weird,
that's the same angle.
Like
it's the same angle PR wise.
He was like the old guy version of Manic Pixie Dream Girl back in.
Ew.
So,
Bill Murray is a Manic Pixie Dream old man.
Old Manic Pixie Ghostbuster.
Yeah.
That's what he is.
Manic Pixie Patriarch.
Ugh. Thanks for watching this clip, guys. If you want to see full episodes or follow us on social media, links are in the description below. Bye.
Bye.